Alright, hey everybody, if you follow me elsewhere off of YouTube, like Instagram, you check out my website, whatever, you probably have seen that I have some presets out. I've been working on these for a super long time, just trying to take the presets that I use every day and bring them to you in a way that's going to work with, your workflow as much as possible. So it's been a long time coming. It's been a lot of work, a lot of hours, and a lot of testing on different photos from different cameras and all sorts of good stuff like that. So today, in the spirit of them being sort of out in the world officially, I just want to put together like a quick 5-minute demo run through of what I have available and how you can get the most out of it. So there are 4 packs. One of them is kind of the outlier, the hazy pack. That is kind of some older presets that I've been using for a really, really long time. Those are just for my fellow Fujifilm shooters, just kind of a bonus. The other packs all work across all different camera systems. Doesn't matter if you shoot Nikon, Sony, Canon. I've tested them on multiple different types of RAW files from multiple different camera manufacturers. Those are going to be the night presets, the Noir presets, and the street presets. Now, before we jump into Lightroom so I can show you how to use the presets and get the most out of them, I just want to say that these are going to be best for well-exposed, well-composed images. No preset's going to work a miracle, but these will be kind of a starting point, a way for you to get inspiration as far as color grading goes, to see some different looks and profiles on your images, and hopefully be able to adapt them to your own use case. But yeah, they do not work miracles. Do not buy them expecting them to be one-click edits or anything like that. Anybody reputable selling you presets will give you the same speech, but I figure it's worth mentioning in case you're new to this whole thing. Okay, so hopping over here in the Lightroom, let's go over a few of these presets and show you exactly how they look on different images. I also am going to go through and edit a photo just like I would normally, so you can get an idea for how I use the presets and how you can get the most out of them. We'll start over here in the Essentials pack. As you can see, they're all bright daytime shots. This is kind of the bread and butter for Essentials. If we come over to this one, this is one of my favorites from San Francisco. We'll throw a couple of presets on here and show you exactly how they look. So in the Essentials pack, you have a black and white, there's a bright, a clean, a faded, and a warm. These are all pretty self-explanatory. The street pack is kind of my essential do-it-all pack. This is for, most conditions, most types of photos. Hopping over to the Noir pack, you'll find that these presets are a little less universal. These are better suited to rainy, foggy, kind of moody photos. A lot of these are pretty desaturated. A lot of these are great for gray, cloudy days. So that's the type of photos that I've chosen here. It may not be strictly film noir all the time, but that's kind of the inspiration here. So this photo has no edits on it. It's just been straightened. So as you see, I'm showing the original there. There's no color or exposure edits. We'll go through some of the presets here. Again, you get a black and white. There's a dusk preset, which is kind of the most warm and saturated, next to Mexico City. Kind of the same thing. This is just based on my photos from Mexico City. And then you get into Montreal, which is a bluer, colder, slightly more desaturated preset. And then you go all the way to the other end, Stormy, which is meant for fog, rain, gray, super desaturated look. All of these are pretty versatile on this type of image, but you might struggle with these if you're shooting, a wide variety of environments. And again, that's why I have put them all together in a bundle. So if you are looking for multiple looks and not something so specific, you can get a bunch of different options all in one place. Now, lastly, we're going to take a look at the night presets. These are great, like I said, for anything blue hour, anything shot at night. I do a lot of backlit photos like this stuff from Times Square. If you see here, there's no edits on this one. We'll go through some of the night presets and give you a look at how they work. Again, you get a black and white. Fairy is built for kind of dusk photos, so this is the fairy photo in question that I named it after. Right, so your fairy is going to give you kind of a desaturated blue hour look. Manhattan and Queens are best for backlit, colorful photos like this where you have a bunch of neon signs and things like that. This does a good job of kind of taming the colors, as does Queens. Again, inspired by Times Square in New York City. And then Times Square is a little bit of a milder preset. This one just lifts the shadows, lifts the blacks, gives you kind of an all-around nighttime look that is suitable for all kinds of different color palettes and different lighting situations and things like that. Now the last thing I want to do here is just go through my exact editing process so you can get an idea of how exactly I use these presets and how you can maybe get the most out of them in your own work. This is one of my favorite photos from last year, shot in San Francisco during golden hour. We'll just reset so you can see that there's nothing going on in the edit there. First thing I always do is just do some kind of straightening, cropping, you know, get the image kind of cut down to what I want. The next thing I'll do is, you know, unless there's any kind of crazy exposure issue that I need to correct, I'll come straight into the presets. In this case, we'll demo one of the Street Essentials ones since I think those are the most universal. For this photo, I'm probably going to use bright or clean just because it's already a little desaturated. I don't need to desaturate it further. And then warm, I think, is going to make it a little too yellow for my taste. So I'm going to go ahead and use, I think, clean. Yeah, as you can see, clean kind of retains the warmth a little bit better. Now, once I've selected a preset, kind of a starting point, what I do is then come into the light module and just adjust the exposure to where I want it. Probably pull down these highlights a little bit and maybe lift the shadows a bit just to keep some of the detail in the darker areas. Maybe even lift the blacks just a hair as well. But I'm not going to do anything super crazy for this edit, just for the purposes of this video. The next step for me is checking the tone curve. So I always lift it a little at the bottom just to, again, not let anything fall to, you know, 100% black, but you don't want it too high, you don't want to lose all your contrast, so I just kind of fine-tune that if need be. And the last thing that I do for 90% of my images is I head into the color area and I just adjust the temperature to make sure that that's where I want it. The tint, if necessary, if I notice it's super magenta or super green, I'll correct there. And then for certain photos, I'll also adjust vibrance saturation as well. Now from here, this is where you can get a little bit more selective once you have exposure and color taken care of. So this doesn't really pertain to my presets and how they, you know, impact your work. But for example, if you had too much of one color or not enough, you can adjust that here in the color mixing panel. This is all stuff that I do after what I consider to be the main edit. Also in a shot like this, I might come in with a radial gradient and just throw that in the middle, kind of like so. Just to control these highlights without losing the brighter parts of the rest of the image. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, most of my adjustments are pertaining to light, tone curve, and color. I find that that's the easiest way to make use of the presets and then also keep a consistent, well-rounded look across all your images. I don't do a ton of crazy color grading unless the image absolutely calls for it. That's it. My editing style is pretty bare bones. I, you know, make some final tweaks from here, but I'm pretty happy with this image. This is the before, and then you got the after here. So something like that is pretty standard for what I do with most of my images. Hopefully this is helpful to you, and hopefully you enjoy using these presets as much as I've enjoyed working on them. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything that might come up. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support. If you do decide to go pick up a copy yourself, and without further ado, yeah, I'll see you in the next one.